These are all the things you need to do right now before the next update comes out inside of Grow Garden. So as we prepare for the brand new summer event inside of Grow Garden, there are a few things that we should probably put on our list of need to do now, right? So what I'm going to be going over in today's video is just an in general list of both everything I genuinely think you should attempt to do, to say the least, and then on top of attempt to do, probably need to do. So this is going to cover in general everything that will both make you a bunch of money, allow you to pre-fire the next update, and just be as prepared as possible. So starting off with the first thing we're going to be looking at is, as we have been told, there are going to be a bunch of new weather events, like specific. So they're pretty much removing all the seeds actively in right now and giving a bunch of new seeds. And alongside that, we have a bunch of new weather events. So what we can at least expect from this is, once along with these weather events, we should also try to pre-fire as many of the normal seeds as we possibly can. Now, I have done a decent job at doing this, as you can see. Now, this is really just like personally for me. Now, what I do believe you should at least try to do is make a few $100 billion, right? Usually with these updates, they're starting to get pretty expensive. And one of the main things I'm starting to see an in general reoccurrence of is a price increase. So if we're looking at a complete revamp to these, what you can expect is, he said, as Jando literally quoted in one of his TikToks, he said that they're going to completely remove all the current seeds and replace them. So what we can see is, obviously for new players, there's going to be some base level to this, but a bunch of new seeds alongside potentially new mechanic. Now with this, another thing that has been speculated, just in general, introduction to a new trading system. Now in this trading system, what has been leaked in multiple screenshots, let me try to find it if I even freaking could. I could probably find it better on the starboard system than suggestions, starboard. Let me find this real fast. Bunch of cool fan art. What is that? A mutation. So pretty much usually if it's on the starboard, it just means someone's gonna make it. Yeah, fan art. Someone made a raccoon with 3D printing. Always cool. But what we have seen is a trading system, and Jandel himself saying that most likely they're gonna add or integrate something like this. Now, what they do mean is they're not going to guarantee this, but they have, this is what he said. It's like something clearly people want, right? He literally said, we've made the full system, you know, it's up and working. But the only issue when it comes to creating a system like this is the potential chance of, once again, black marketing and scamming is going to actually increase. So once again, the pros and cons might not actually be like, the pros might not really outweigh the cons when it comes to something like that, when it comes to like black markets, selling items and all that. But what he has said is they are looking into adding this in. They did this through a community poll. Pretty sure we are going to see a trading system. So what you can do is to prepare for this, try to run as many, try to grind alt accounts if possible to get seeds and stuff. So if you see like feed an alt account, right, a few items worth like a few $100 million or something, right? And then if you see, say, like a master sprinkler comes in stock, you can join on all your accounts, buy it, right? Now your master sprinkler, you have like 4 or 5. Now you can do this normally just to give yourself master sprinklers, but what I'm saying this is applicable to is seeds. So if you have alt accounts or looking into starting our alt accounts, this is, I would say, one of the best times too, is to start grinding on alt accounts and prepare. Like for me, I have a bunch of just crap, right? Like I think it was like 20 ember lilies, a bunch of cacaos, like 15 beanstalks, and all this random crap, right? And I had the exact same things on an alt account, because that alt account has like 7 trillion just from raccoon grinding on random crap. And then, because if you don't know, I was raccoon grinding this melon right here. It's really big. It's this thing right here. It's worth like a good 200, nearly 300 billion, and I was grinding that. So I deleted most of my garden and then added this. The one annoying part is they did say they're going to add in a feature. This tool is called like the recaller. So like the shovel, you can delete an item, right? So if I want to like say delete a pepper, I could like be like, oh, that was weird. They could be like, oh, I want to, you know, delete a beanstalk, right? It would be like, oh, you're about to shovel a beanstalk, it's going to be gone. And then you're like, yeah, I'll delete a beanstalk, right? Now what they're going to add is a piece of gear that, rather than, you know, deleting the item permanently, you get to pick up the seed version of it, which I love the idea of this. Now, the one thing to note with this is just a consideration I've just thought of, is if, say, the plot glitch, so if you want to head on over to Grow Garden, right? This was a glitch where you could like overlap gardens and have multiple people on the same thing. If you come on down to servers, right? This is where you'll see it. You'll see like multiple people per server where there shouldn't be. So like 6 out of 5. Sometimes you'll even see like 7 out of 5. These are people overlapping their servers together, and this should not be in the game, right? But this is something we are seeing. So this could, once again, what this had was people could like use a shovel, right, and delete plants of other people's gardens because their gardens were overlapping, so therefore they were like in their territory or whatever. And one thing to note is you could probably even manipulate this glitch to use this recall thing to pick up the seed and just take their plant entirely. Now, unless they have fully patched and fixed this system from doing said issues, then this is something that, once again, definitely something that should be looked over and fixed. Now, alongside all of this, what we can also speculate is there's going to be, once again, a price increase on practically everything. So make sure you do grind money on anything possible, because once again, with them saying that they're going to integrate a bunch of new crap, we can expect a bunch of super hard to get rare stuff. So say, for example, this, I think I do have a cacao. I might actually make that to put chocolate on something. Craft, go cleaner. I don't know. I have like 4,000 of those. Cacao, 31 kg cacao. Submit honey, get that going. Perfect. Now, one thing to note is we can expect stuff to get expensive. I have started finding really good ways to make money, like as a normal player, rather than, the usual person that has like 50 raccoons and candy blossoms. Now, I was able to do all this with like a basic moon melon, right? I made all my trillions with moon melons, meaning pretty much anyone can do it. So that is a video I have, so you should check that out. I'm probably gonna forget to put it like at the end of this video, so just try to go try find it, because it is very helpful. And the one thing to note is another feature we can expect, I should probably sit up, is they have said like in the summer update there's going to be some summer-based event, so we could look into speculations, right? There are a bunch of weather events and stuff which are going to be cool and all, but once again, do note we are going to be looking at some sort of summer event. So inside of this, you just want to be as prepared as you can, so that is in regards to the money, so you want to make as much money as possible and all that crap, because once again, this thing's done grown, the money you make and all that can very help you with this new one, because you want to get as much out of the event as you can. Because as we have seen with, say, like the money method with like this nectar thorn right here, this thing was like it was all right, and then now it comes out and it's like actually like a really overpowered item because of an old blood hedgehog from like multiple events ago. Now that's only doable because a bunch of people have this thing. Once again, like, you don't understand how overpowered an item could be till like later case scenarios. So once again, the blood hedgehog like is a perfect example. Once again, this was just like one of the worst pets you could get out of the event. No one wanted to really get a blood hedgehog, right? But now it has like such a valuable use scenario where you could use it for this thing to make billions and like hundreds of billions and trillions so easily. And it's really valuable information, I would say, to figure out that this stuff has such helpful use scenarios further down. So once again, do recommend grinding both money and just being as prepared with gear and items as possible. Now, this would be in relation to gear as in like sprinklers, tools, and all this stuff. A lot of event items, we could see these being fully removed. So for example, these sprays and all this stuff, these could be entirely removed from the game like after this crafting update. So you do want to make sure you try to potentially get as much of these as you can, because once again, if say a new candy blossom level item comes in from grinding money and you want to get chocolate mutation on it, that'll be the only way possible. So do make sure you try to grind out and just stack up on literally anything possible. Like if it can go into your inventory, try to get multiple of it. And then alongside that, grind as much money as possible and try to pre-fire the event. They do run a ton of admin only events beforehand and give out a bunch of free crap. So make sure you do stick in the update hour prior, and see you.